evokes allies' fears that increased activities in 3 of the country's volcanoes are related. The new defense and health secretaries are sworn in by President Marcos before they get down to business. Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's a roundup of stories we're watching now. I'm Sean Yao. The State Weather Bureau continues to monitor Tropical Depression Chedeng. Speaking to us here on One News Now, Pag-asa weather forecaster Alzar Aurelius said that Chedeng will have the same track as Tropical Cyclone Betty. However, it is not seen to be as strong as Betty.
Tropical Depression Chedeng is well behaved and expected to move based on a forecast track that it moved northwestward and move close to east of northern Luzon. Then it will move northward, recur to maybe towards the Japan. This track is named as the track of Super Typhoon Betty.
Aurelio also clarified that the downpour that Metro Manila is experiencing now is due to the rainy season and not because of the tropical depression. Pag-asa warns of more heavy rainfall in the coming days.
Itong madilim o makulim na ngayong araw is isa sa mga dahilan yan is normal na ho sa atin yan. Sa normal days dahil rainy season na. So asahan natin halos araw-araw. Expect almost every day ay makakaranas tayo ng mga kalat-kalat na pag-ulan.
And with the rains come the floods. This is why the MMDA is intensifying its cleanup drive around the metro, starting with clogged waterways. Mon Gualvez with the story.
Paano pa dadalo yung tubig barado ng ganyan? Tingnan mo, kapal.
Thick, sticky mire. This is literally the dirty truth from the canals of Barangay Bangkal, Makati. Personnel of the Metro Manila Development Authority had to use a shovel to take out garbage from drainage systems. In the trash, oil that has solidified, a major cause of flooding in the area.
Nakilang sako na po kayo?
Sa ano pa, sa ilalim. May laman pa eh. May laman pa lang sa ilalim.
The cleanup drive is part of the Bayanihan sa Barangay program, spearheaded by the MMDA. Aside from estero cleanup, trees that block roadsides are trimmed and pedestrian crossings are repainted. They have also conducted misting against dengue, which is common during the rainy season.
Ang basura at ang paglilinis ng kapaligiran ay hindi lamang responsibilidad ng gobyerno at hindi dapat iatang sa balikat ng gobyerno, kundi kailangan po namin ang tulong ng mamamayan.
The agency still thinks trash is the main cause of flooding in most parts of Metro Manila. Priorities for the cleanup drive are the cities of Pasay, Makati, and Manila, since these are the areas closest to the Manila Bay. MMD admits, though, that they can only do so much, clearing waterways to the pumping station.
Meron lamang tayong 2 teams na gumagawa niyan na kumpleto sa gamit para mas mabilis dahil hindi talaga kaya ng mano-mano.
Microplastics also pose a challenge. The Laguna Lake Development Authority has earlier confirmed via study that Laguna de Bay is already polluted with these tiny plastic particles.
Wala pa pong teknolohiya ang MMDA para po dito sa mga microplastics. Iyon na din po yung sinasabi natin na huwag magtapon ng basura sa mga daluyan ng tubig. Na kalimitan po ay nakakain din ng mga isda na eventually nakakain natin mga tao na in the long term ay masama po sa kalusugan ng tao.
To encourage more residents to clean up, another solution brought up by the MMDA is trash in exchange of grocery items. Participating residents will be given booklets where they will list recyclable materials they've saved up. Each kilo is equivalent to a point, and each grocery item also equates to a certain number of points.
Halimbawa po kung ang kilo ng papel ay piso, equivalent to 1 points po yun. Pero ang ginagawa po natin para po mas maraming makuha at maklaim na groceries ang ating mga participants, dinadagdagan po natin ng plus 20% yung puntos na naipon po nila.
Some residents took this opportunity to trade the cans and plastic bottles they collect.
Malaking bagay po kasi una-una mahal po akong bilihin. Wala pa akong pambili, wala akong trabaho.
The program is now being implemented in 42 barangays, which will also be rolled out in all cities in Metro Manila. For News 5, Mon Gualvez, we are One News.
We have more stories for you after this quick break. Stay with us here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. FIVOLCS allays fears that the increased activity of 3 volcanoes in the country are interrelated. In an interview with One News Now, FIVOLCS Director Teresito Bacolcol said that Mayon volcano's sulfur dioxide emissions are currently within normal levels. As for Taal, Bacolcol explained that the increased sulfur dioxide emissions does not mean that it will erupt anytime soon. For the Canlaon volcano, FIVOLCS observed above normal sulfur dioxide emissions. Despite these, Bacolcol clarified that the 3 volcanoes' activities are not in any way related to each other.
One volcano is independent of another volcano, so their activities are not at all related.
Moving on to another story, the massive fire that gutted the Manila Central Post Office last month was deemed an accident. The Bureau of Fire Protection traced the cause of the blaze to a car battery that exploded in the basement of the building. The battery had self-discharged and overheated, igniting highly flammable materials inside the historic structure.
Sa laging pula na mo tayo nakita na ganong angle, no, na ito ay incendiary o sinadya yung tunog. Isang stored, no, na lumang car battery exploded and caused to ignite doon sa mga malalapit na mga materials. Meron kami na-identify doon na mga paint of thinner, paint cans, and then may mga different documents, sari-sari ng materials doon.
The Philippine Postal Corporation says it has already received a copy of the BFP's report and has started processing insurance claims to restore the post office. Damage from the 30-hour fire is at 300 million pesos.
Currently, we are working on with the GSIS para naman po doon sa ating mga gagawing claims for our insurance. Patuloy po tayong nakikipagtulungan sa mga cultural agencies para po doon sa restoration na gagawin po natin para po doon sa Manila Central Post Office Building.
And President Bongbong Marcos has appointed his Secretaries of Defense and Health 1 year into his term. Gibo Teodoro is the new Secretary of Defense, marking his return to the post after 14 years. Teodoro was the DND chief during the administration of former President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. Senate President Juan Miguel Zubiri welcomed Teodoro's appointment, noting the official's experience as a public servant. Senator J.V. Ejercito echoed Zubiri's sentiment and urged Teodoro to prioritize defense modernization. Meanwhile, Dr. Ted Herbosa has been chosen by Marcos Jr. to lead the Health Department. Herbosa recently served as a special advisor to the National Task Force against COVID-19. Former Health OIC Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergere assured Herbosa of the full support of the agencies. For his part, Go Negosyo founder Joey Concepcion believes that Herbosa and Teodoro are more than qualified for their new posts. One News Now will be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. I'm Sean Yao. We are One News. All sides, all the time.